What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 26 in my 13th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 26, we have a film that Moods actually recently reviewed on the Sin Bin podcast. On our latest episode, which has not posted yet. I think it should be out Monday. But the film that he reviewed on there was one that I initially was going to pick to review, and I ended up switching it up. And after his review, I kind of was interested in actually checking out the film. And the film in question is Flesh Freaks from the year 2000. Released here courtesy of Saturn's Core, which is a partner label on the Vinegar Syndrome website distribution. So Flesh Freaks, interesting movie, has pretty interesting, one of the more interesting backstories for like a shot on video type thing. It actually was shot on mini DV, but yeah, this film it basically follows a college student who returns from Belize, and when he returns, he tells a story of what happened in Belize, and he tells the story of being on an expedition, an archaeological expedition in Belize, where they are checking out some old Mayan tombs and artifacts and stuff like that. And by the way, this cover is pretty cool. I like it. There's actually a reversible cover as well that's pretty funny looking. But yeah, this film here, when he returns from Belize, he's like there's rumors of like some kind of terrorist attack that happened while he was down there, but he doesn't want to talk about it with his one friend that picks him up from the airport. He eventually opens up and explains what happened. Essentially, they were digging in these areas and they found a corpse, but the corpse was not old and a skeleton. It was like more modern, had like modern clothes and stuff, and it wasn't like fully decayed. There was some meat on the bones, if you will. And then back in Toronto, where he's from, there's a morgue worker who is checking on a body that eventually reanimates and kills the guy, and then there's basically a zombie outbreak in this area. There is a weird thing with like how the virus or whatever got transferred to Toronto. I know Moods brought that up. I'm thinking that the body that they found is actually the body that is in this morgue, but they don't really say that they like brought it back, at least to my knowledge, so I could be wrong, but it kind of looks the same, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, I don't really know how they managed to bring the virus back, but it's kind of unexplained. But essentially, it's up to him and his friends to sort of destroy the threat of the zombies. So yeah, that is basically the plot of Flesh Freaks. It is an extreme case of do-it-yourself horror, which is really cool. This movie has a lot of charm. So first of all, like the backstory behind this movie is there was this kid who was a teenager. I forget which age, but in 1998 he goes with his parents, who were actual archaeologists, to Belize. And this kid, being a huge film fan, thought, well, what the hell, I have such a great location opportunity to like make a movie here, like I would be stupid not to film something. So A lot of the footage we see in the Belize scenes are actually in, an actual archaeological dig site, which is pretty cool. That's a very unique aspect that not a lot of shot on video or do it yourself type movies, no budget, are capable of pulling off. So that is really cool right there. And after he uses that footage, he frameworks a story around it in which he essentially tells in like flashback scenes, which is really cool. I think that's a really neat aspect of the movie. So the zombies themselves are kind of compared to like maybe Andre Bianchi's Burial Ground, and I could see that. I think they look weird. They do look like that a little bit, but I do see that because apparently this guy had never seen those movies. I do kind of see that they could have just been like his own thoughts, because they're very. I would say they're a little more wet than those ones, but they have a very like bubbly, like rotted, like like just putrefied look to them, which is pretty cool. There's another one here on the back. As you can see, they're just, I mean, what is that? That is just a mess. It looks like somebody stepped in a pile of dog shit and put an eyeball in it. That's what it looks like to me, man. Um, but there's actually a funny thing that Moods pointed out, that one of the characters has one of those like air-powered nail guns that they're using to kill zombies with, but there is no hose attached to it for the air, so it just wouldn't work, for one. But also on top of that, they're holding it with the air hose facing the zombies, so they're shooting nails from the air hose, which I don't know if it was just these kids didn't understand how that gun worked, or if they just didn't, for like safety reasons, didn't want to point the actual, even if it wasn't connected, they didn't want to point the actual part that shoots out of people at people. The movie's not that long, 79 minutes. Some of my favorite aspects was the like locations in Belize, like with they have like a cool well, like water well or whatever, with all kind of moss on it and stuff like that. That looks really cool. The dialogue is very like, I think it even says on the back here, like mumblecore, which was a type of dialogue that was very popular in the late 2000s, early 2010s, which is essentially like a loose script with just people sort of like naturally talking and not really sticking to an exact dialogue. Sort of like, you know, improvisation. I'm having trouble tonight. Improv. But I kind of like that, and the whole movie just has so much charm. It's just one of those films where you could just see like people wanted to make a movie, they put their heart in it, they tried to make the best movie they could with the limited resources they have, and I will always respect that, even if the movie isn't very good. And I don't think this one's not good at all. Like, this is definitely a watchable movie. I've seen way worse like no budget movies. But yeah, it's inspiring. It makes you happy that people out there did this stuff, and it's cool to always like see ones that are a little later, because of course we have like the shot on video boom of the 80s, but this one is a lot like the late 80s. This one is in 2000, so it's late 90s and then came out in the 2000s, so that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this film a solid 6 out of 10. I think it's pretty fun. worth watching. So with that said, I will see you guys next time with another one. Peace.